Well, I am tired. We had a party at the house last night. Had the big screen up in the backyard. Watched a scary movie. Cooked out on the pit. Did s'mores. A little bit of everything. Was on my feet all day, but it was a fun party. Glad everybody else cleaned up because I did not feel like it. But I wanted to go over a few things. I had the whole list. I don't know if you guys have seen it in one previous video of all the little things that need to be done after getting your authority, but I'm going to go over a few of those now. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good weekend. Hope your trucks are treating you good. Hope you're doing good. So I have this list of just some things that were random off the top of my head that I had to start doing once I applied for my authority. If you haven't seen the other two videos, I did two videos previous to this. One was some things I thought you should do that might help before you get your authority, and then applying for your authority. I am no expert whatsoever. These are just my opinions and some things to maybe help you think about, other things that might not be on your mind at the moment. So there are so many things. Once you apply for that authority, there's just this avalanche of stuff that you've got to do. And I have a whole list, and I'll flash it up here real quick just to give you some ideas. But it cannot all be put in one video. And I don't want to go into too much depth on anything. I'm like I said, just giving you ideas of what you need to do. So this part 3 is going to be mainly about factoring companies and ELD. Do you need a factoring company? No, you don't need one. But in my opinion, it makes life a lot easier. The first week I was out there, I worked with, I can't remember, 3 or 4 different agents. And so the way that you get paid is every agent wants their paperwork to be a little bit different, and you're sending paperwork, your invoices to different addresses. Some of them can do it over a TransFlow app, all kinds of different things to keep up with. And I realized real quickly that if I didn't factor, some of these places I'd be waiting 30 to 60 days, and I'd have to keep track of those invoices differently than some that paid. Some of these agents pay out in the 2 days if you pay an extra percentage. So I realized real quickly I didn't want to keep up with all those invoices and 30 days later try to track down somebody to see why they haven't received my payment or anything like that. So when I started doing my research, I'd already worked with one of these companies before, with a company I was leased on to, and I started looking into them, and I realized I could bundle a few things together to make life a lot easier. And that was do my factoring, get a fuel card, and an ELD, bundle it all together, save money, and save lots of time and stress. And here's what I mean by that. So I signed up with a factoring company. So each load that I do, I can just send my BOL to the factoring company and write out, they have a invoice creator on their app. So I just fill in the little information. I can have that done in a matter of 2 minutes. I submit it to them, and I have my choice. I can get paid that day, I can get paid the next day. And I've got my cash already I paid 2.75%. What are the advantages of doing that? It's just that I can have my cash now. I don't have to track people down. I don't have to keep track of different invoices going to different businesses. It makes it easier for me. How does that tie in with the fuel card. So talk about fuel cards. I looked at all the fuel cards out there, and there's not one super special fuel card that I could find where you get great discounts everywhere. Each one of them has their kind of little favorite places that they get discounts from. So my favorite truck stops are TA and Petro, and just so happens the factoring company I went with, their fuel card offers the biggest discounts at TAs and Petros. Why would I want those two things tied in together? It makes it so much easier. They gave me, when I took out a factoring with them, they gave me a line of credit, and here's what is easy about it. I charge my fuel. Next day I turn in an invoice and a bill, and I can write a message on there saying pay for my fuel. So my fuel is paid for at almost every day, or at least every other day. And there's not that, it comes due every week if I don't do it like that. So there's not that time every week on a Thursday when I have a $1,200 fuel bill. I don't have to worry about that anymore. It's all one-stop shop. It's all taken care of. Just kind of stress-free for me. Like I said before, you don't need a factoring company. You can do it all yourself, especially if you have somebody to help you. It might be easier. Some people, they do all their loads with one agent or one carrier, so they don't really need that service. Some of these places like Convoy, and I think Uber, I don't think they charge anything to get your cash pretty quickly, so it might be easier to do it that way. And as a matter of fact, there are certain places that I will do that for. I don't factor every single load, but the ones that I can do a credit check, that's another advantage of having a factoring company. I can do an in-depth credit check on my app when I'm trying to book a load and see that these people, they have credit worthiness, and I can make a decision right there whether I want to factor or whether I want to wait for a payment from them. So lots of advantages to factoring, some disadvantages to factoring. It's one of those things where you have to get in there, figure out what the advantages and disadvantages are, and figure out what's right for you. So I've got my factoring and my fuel card at the same place. It makes it super easy. I get my cash, I can deliver load, get my cash the next day, and I don't have to worry about chasing down people, sending invoices to different companies, because I work with let's see, over the past 2 weeks that I've run, I've probably worked with 7 different agents. So that's, if I didn't factor, that'd be 7 different invoices floating out there and me waiting on payments. So it's just up to you and what you'd rather do. So how does factoring tie in with an ELD? Some of these ELD companies and factoring companies have teamed up together, so you get that kind of that bundle deal. And once again, what makes it a lot easier is if you get the right ELD, and there again, everybody has their preferences to the features they want, which ones they think works the best. I've pretty much had the same experience with all of them. They all work about the same. Right now I have one of the cheaper ones, and I'm going to switch over to a different one here in the next month or so I can do that bundle. I don't have the bundle right now, but what ELD, if you pick the right ELD, what it can do for you is you're going to be spending a little bit more money out of pocket. But if you get the right one, then that will make your IFTA reporting process just hands-free. Makes it a whole lot easier because it'll keep track of all the mileage, every state you ran, where you fueled, and report it for you, and you don't have to do anything. But again, they're not going to do it for free. It's one of those things that you're going to have to pay for, so a little bit more money off the top, as you can see every time, but it's just what you think it's worth. So those 3 things I wanted to cover in this video and not get too down in the weeds with all the other stuff. I'll cover those in another video. But those 3 things kind of go hand in hand together: your factoring, your fuel card, and your ELD. And you can actually bundle those all together and save money. You've heard of the bundle deals. Everybody likes the bundle deals.